Stand inside almost any American supermarket, pharmacy, or retail store today and look closely at the shelves. Something subtle is happening. But once you notice it, you can't unsee it. The walls of endless choices are shrinking. Fewer flavors, fewer sizes, fewer variations. Products that once filled entire rows are disappearing quietly, without announcements or fanfare. And behind that quiet cleanup is one of the biggest strategic shifts happening in consumer goods right now. Brands are aggressively eliminating underperforming SKUs to stop profit leaks and regain efficiency. For years, companies expanded their product lines endlessly. New variations, seasonal versions, niche flavors, micro-targeted items. The goal was always the same: capture every possible type of customer. But that expansion came with hidden costs. Every extra SKU required manufacturing time, packaging materials, warehouse space, transportation, forecasting, and shelf placement fees. And when a product sold slowly, all those costs stayed high while revenue stayed low. Today, those slow-moving items are no longer just small annoyances. They're expensive liabilities. And brands across the country have realized that cutting them can unlock millions, sometimes tens of millions, in pure savings. The shift started when inflation pushed up the cost of materials, labor, and logistics. Suddenly, every inch of warehouse space had a price. Every truckload mattered. Every production run had to justify itself. Companies began digging into their sales data and asking a simple question: what products are worth keeping? And what products are holding us back? What they found was eye-opening. In many categories, a small percentage of items generate the vast majority of sales. The classic rule applies: 20% of SKUs often drive 80% of revenue. The rest clog up supply chains, confuse shoppers, and drain resources. When brands mapped out true profitability, not just sales, but the total cost of producing, shipping, storing, and marketing each item, the numbers became clear. Cutting low performers wasn't a risk. It was a strategic necessity. This triggered the wave of SKU rationalization we're seeing now. The first major benefit brands gain is supply chain efficiency. Fewer products mean fewer forecasting errors, fewer storage needs, and fewer production changeovers. Each changeover, switching machinery from one SKU to another, costs time and money. When brands eliminate redundant flavor versions, niche variants, or niche sizes, they cut down on these expensive interruptions. Inventory management also improves dramatically. Slow-moving items create aging stock, extra handling, and higher risk of write-offs. When brands trim the catalog, inventory turns faster, cash flow improves, and warehouses operate more efficiently. Another benefit is simplified logistics. Retailers prefer fast-moving items that sell consistently. Underperforming SKUs create complications, inconsistent demand, slow replenishment cycles, and more space consumed for less return. When brands remove them, they strengthen their relationship with retailers, who want clean shelves that move product quickly. Store shelves benefit too. Shoppers are less overwhelmed. In many categories, fewer choices actually lead to more sales because consumers make decisions faster and default to trusted items instead of getting stuck comparing similar products. The financial side of SKU cuts is just as powerful. Producing packaging, storing inventory, shipping pallets, and maintaining slotting fees for slow sellers eats into profits. Removing the bottom 10% to 30% of SKUs can instantly boost margins without raising prices or cutting staff. That's why many companies are treating SKU rationalization as a long-term cost strategy, not a temporary fix. Brand identity becomes clearer as well. Overly crowded product lines dilute focus. Companies are now using this cleanup to strengthen their core offerings, the products that truly represent their brand, and deliver consistent revenue. When companies keep what works and eliminate what doesn't, marketing becomes more effective, and product development becomes more focused. Another trend pushing this shift is retailer pressure. Many major chains are reducing the number of product variations they're willing to carry. They want stronger performance from fewer items. If a SKU doesn't sell, they replace it with something that will. Brands are responding by proactively cutting underperformers before retailers do it for them. Behind the scenes, data analytics is playing a huge role. Companies now use advanced forecasting tools to track profitability down to the micro level. individual stores, regions, seasons, and customer segments. These tools reveal patterns that older systems couldn't detect, like how a product may appear profitable overall, but loses money in several regions due to logistics costs. Advanced analytics makes the decision to cut far clearer and far more strategic. SKU consolidation doesn't mean brands are becoming less innovative. Instead, they're becoming smarter. Many companies are focusing on fewer, better launches, products with higher selling potential, clearer branding, and stronger market demand. They're avoiding the old habit of launching dozens of SKUs just to see what sticks. For manufacturers, consolidation can also lead to stronger pricing power. When the product line becomes more focused, brands have more leverage to negotiate with retailers, more clarity in communicating value, and more consistency in production costs. This improves their competitive position in crowded categories. But perhaps the biggest advantage is resilience. In a market where supply chains remain unpredictable and costs remain high, brands with leaner product lines can adapt faster. They handle disruptions more smoothly, maintain better inventory balance, and avoid the chaos that comes from managing hundreds of low-volume items. Looking ahead, SKU rationalization will continue spreading across industries. From food and beverages to household goods, personal care, apparel, electronics, and beyond. Brands are learning that more isn't always better. Sometimes fewer items create stronger sales, smoother operations, better customer experience, and healthier profits. And that's why the quiet removal of underperforming SKUs is far more than a cleanup. It's a strategic reset. A reset that saves millions, strengthens supply chains, and positions brands for growth in a market where efficiency, clarity, and disciplined operations matter more than ever.